Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can see behind me, I'm down this small river. Now I came out this morning, I'm in an hour as to what to do, to be honest. This river's relatively low, but not too low. It's supposed to chuck it down all morning. Be overcast this afternoon, however I can't get out this afternoon. I can get out this morning, it's about 9 o'clock now. It's supposed to chuck it down again all day tomorrow. This field and all the surrounding areas are absolutely sodden, so as soon as any rain hits the ground, it goes straight in the river. This river will be up, pushing through again by certainly tomorrow, if not tomorrow evening. So I thought we'd come and take advantage of it while it's not raining. However, as I say, it is supposed to bang it down for the next 3 hours, which is about how long I've got. So that being that, I've come and had a look, and it looks a lovely colour to do some trotting. So that's what we're going to do today. With that in mind, I've got my pouch, I've got some mashed bread in my bag, I've got my Dower Tournament Pro 15-foot rod, I've got my Dower 125mm close face reel supplied by Artisan Angling. He reconditions, refurbs these reels, and he sent me this one. It's absolutely fantastic, I have to say. He also sells reels that have been reconditioned, so if you're after a lovely close face reel, get on over to his website. I'll link you in up there and down in the description as well. Now, as I say, mashed bread. It's going to be mashed bread, bread on the hook. I have got some maggots, but I don't think it's clear enough for that. I've left them in the car. What I'm going to do, I've trotted previously in this swim with sort of relative amount of success. So I think I'm going to prime this up a little bit and then go and have a wander off upstream. We'll try a few different spots and then perhaps come and drop down into here maybe in an hour or so's time. So what I've got is a bag full of wet mashed bread, really soggy for trotting. I've also got a little bit, because I thought maybe we'd be ledgering, I've got some really stodgy stuff as well. So I think I'm going to get this in here. Some stodgy stuff just to get to the bottom. Perhaps run off downstream a little bit. Just to hopefully have the fish out and about. And we'll just spend a couple of minutes putting some of this soggy stuff in. The river is just shouting out, trotting. It's clear enough that the fish are going to be able to see the bait coming, but it's not too clear that I think they're going to want to be tucked away under the cover. Right, that's enough waffle, isn't it? As I said, we'll go for a wander off upstream and then we'll try a few spots and we'll work our way back down to here. There's perhaps one or two swims further down we can have a go at as well if we need to. Right, I thought it'd be a good idea to start here. I've only fished this swim once before. As you can see, there's a lovely big raft there. Last time I fished it, we ledgered down to it and had a nice chub out there. So I'm going to perhaps just run a float down to it. We can run it just a little way past as well. A lot of the fishing on these small rivers is fishing to features. But, you know, some swims you don't need features to fish to. I think this is one of the ones where we do. So let's say worth a go here for perhaps 10 or 15 minutes. I think we'll soon know if there's anything under there. Fancies a bit of bread. Now, as you can see, my gear stays set up all the time, just to grab it for opportune sessions. It can be a bit fiddly setting up 3-piece rods and keeping them set up, I should say. So I made a video of how I do it. Works really well for me, as you can see. That's over on the Fishing Tips channel, so if you want to go and have a look at that, I'll link you in up there and again in the description as well. Now, I strongly suspect there'll probably only be one fish under there, maybe a couple at the very most, so I'm not going to go mad with the feed. Just trickling it in, just to let them know there's something about. And I'm trying to get it so it runs past the edge of that cover, not underneath it. So I don't want it to run underneath, because obviously they don't need to go anywhere. If it runs underneath, they don't need to come out and get the bait. And obviously fishing the float, I can't present it underneath that raft unless I let the float run right up to the raft and then hold it back really hard. But we'd rather get them out in the water if we can. let's have a go while the weather's holding. I'll see if that runs down. It's just a nice flow through there. Just got my standard trotting setup on here. Again, I'll link you in to a video I made up there of how I set this up, if you want to go and have a look at that. Just going to tease that past there. Not too far though. I can't go under that branch, obviously. I don't think we need to. Not drag bottom there, so we'll just inch deeper until we start to drag, then we'll know we're somewhere near the bottom. That went under in an unexpected place. You kind of get used to where you think it's going to go under. It hasn't gone under there before, but it didn't look like a bite. It did look like it caught the bottom. Varying the speed as well. I let the bait go through. One time I'm just letting it go through really fast, and other times I'm slowing it right down. Just stop it right next to that. There we go. I was going to say, I'd just stop it right next to that cover. And he just grabbed it right next to that cover. Just held it back. Now that's worked a treat. Absolutely fantastic. Bit of a reasonable fish. There's no chublet. Oh, there's a nice fish. Come on. Oh, he's going to get us in these reeds in the edge if we're not careful. Come on. Go. That's a nice fish. Certainly to have on the float, that's a cracker. Wonderful. Well, bit of knowledge, bit of watercraft. Job done. Certainly a nice fish. Get him unhooked. Well, we'll have a look at him over the net in case he flips, but that's a cracker. That's absolutely fantastic. It's the method that makes it. It's not the biggest fish in the world, but it's just wonderful. Wonderful method. I'll get him down there. Make sure he's all right. Got his breath back, righted himself. There we go. That's why I use this nice deep landing net. We'll just rest him up. We'll give it another 5 minutes in case he's down there with his mates. But exactly as suspected. I don't know if you can see down there. There's a big thick log sticking up. I just held the float back right next to that, and then it just sank away. Obviously, right underneath that cover. It's a bit of a trade-off, really, with trotting, because when it's clear enough to trot effectively, or we're talking the water, often the fish don't like to be out in the river. And, you know, if we had longer, or if perhaps we were on the Avon, you could feed and feed and feed and feed, and get them out, get them confident, get them coming out in the river. But on here, where you're more sort of nicking a bite on this sort of river. Now, as I often say, most of these swims in this river, it's one and out. Certainly the timescales I'm talking about, when you're fishing a swim for 20 minutes, half an hour perhaps at the most. Sometimes you can have another one out, but it often pays to move. But we'll have a bit of a go, a bit longer. God, it's so wet and muddy. Rain's just about holding off at the moment. It's just drizzling. We'll try and steer that in again. I would certainly urge you to have a go if you fancy a bit of trotting. Very, very enjoyable method. Conditions have to be right to do any good, but it's a very active method. A bit like lure fishing, I guess. You're constantly working the float, running it through different lines, different places, different speeds. It's very similar actually, more I think about it, it's very similar to lure fishing. Annoyingly, there's a branch sticking out in the water just at the front of that raft, which is stopping me running past really close to it. I'm trying to run the float around the back of it. But that's, I think, the bottom. Yes. We'll give it 5 minutes or so. I'm not going to give it too long because I don't think we're going to catch lots and lots of fish in here. If we catch another one, I'd be quite surprised, to be honest. Right, I think we'll move. As I say, there's lots of other places to try. Certainly 4 or 5 swims to trot, and I haven't got long enough to do that many swims. So I think time to move. We'll get this fella back. We'll have a go just at this confluence up here where this little river's running in. Right, he's well rested. Whack you go, chap. Gone. Right, so I wander just 30-40 metres upstream. Right, that's it. Another one down with no bites. So what I'm going to do, got a bit of time left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to nip to the stretch just down from this one. There's 1 or 2 swims down there which are trottable and where I've had fish before. So I think that's probably our best bet. Hopefully get another fish or 2. So let's get off down there. So here we are. Now, as you can see, there's a confluence over there, and at the moment it is running very brown. But I've fished this twice, this little bit in front of that little carrier there. It's only like a carrier off between fields. It's not a stream or anything as such. Tiny little brook, perhaps you'd call it. But yeah, I've had a couple of chub in here and 2 short goes in here. So I thought it was probably worth having another go in here, and it's, as you can see, it's trottable. This stretch that we've come onto now, it's a bit more suited to ledgering. There's more rafts to sort of run the bait under, and it's much more of a ledgering stretch, really, I'd say. But we'll have a go. This swim, possibly 1 or 2 more we could have a go at. Should we fancy it? We've got perhaps 45 minutes left, something like that. So we could perhaps have 20 minutes in a couple of swims, but we'll just see how it goes. You never know, we might catch one in here and then want to stick it out. Right, we'll just trickle a bit of this mash in. I'll put the rod back together and we'll crack on. Right, I think there's a bit of depth in here. Maybe 5 foot or so. Just guessing from, as I say, having ledgered here, just feeling feeling the feeder to the bottom. Right. Without further ado, we'll have a crack. I'll try that for depth. We're about 5 foot to that olivet, something like that, and it's the olivet that will drag the bottom, not the bait, because with bread on, it's going to be quite buoyant. It will be fluttering around in the water column, hopefully. Nice pace in here as well, actually. That float going down there, it's just nice, sort of slow walking pace, medium walking pace perhaps you'd call it. Right, we're not tripping under there. We're on the inside of a bend here, so that the current is always pulling the float towards us. What I could do with getting it further over there. So I think moving downstream just 5 meters or so will just help things along. Let's do that. Let's move along here. Hard going today. Not doing massively well, are we? We've not blanked. But yeah, it's been tough. Oh, we're in. It's a fish. It's gone down a few times there, but as is always the way, it goes down a few times in one place and then it goes down again and you think it's the bottom and it's a fish. And of course it's doing its absolute utmost to get us in the edge. Feels a decent fish. Ooh, come on out. All the way along the edge, look. God blimey. I haven't even seen him yet. He's doing absolutely everything to get in under my feet, of course. He's done about 20 metres of bank so far, trying to get in the edge. There we are. Right, he's back out in the river. Not for long. God, he looks a nice fish. That is a cracking fish to have on the float. Cool, that is a cracker. Let's try and get him in. Oh, he's off again. What a scrap. I think he's almost done. Nope. God, that is a lump. Now that's a fish. Wow. He's a proper lump. I think we'll put him on the scales. So, just put him on the scales. That equals my float caught PB from this river. That was from a different stretch, but yeah, £3.9. Absolutely fantastic. Absolute lump to have on the float. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It's a cracking fish as well. Right, we'll get him back. We'll get him in the edge, in the net. See if he's down there with his mates. Ooh. God, a swamp down here. A nice place to rest him up down there. Make sure he rights himself. There we go. Right, I think we're going to stick it out in here for a bit. See if we can pick off another one. That was quite a long way down the swim down where it's tripping bottom down there. It may just be that that's where the bread's hitting the bottom. loose feed, so we'll throw it a bit further upstream. It just shows you, don't it? You think you're going to get a bite in here and I get one down there. But perhaps for whatever reason the fish sit down there and me casting in there just pulls them straight up, who knows. But it may be something to do with that. Hopefully it'll come out on the camera. You'll see over there, there's a big dirty brown line running down the far side of the river there. It may be something to do with that the fish are sitting down there, perhaps waiting on worms coming along. Well, as soon as the rain has stopped, all the light aircraft are out again. So noisy on this stretch with light aircraft. They didn't come out when it rained. As soon as it stopped, all over the place. It's actually a lovely mild day. A bit warm, to be honest. We've gone under there again. It's one of those tricky swims, this, I think. We need to be deep enough to fish in here, but then when we're going through there, we need to be shallower, and you can achieve that by holding back so that the tackle's not vertical, it goes through at an angle, thereby effectively fishing a bit shallower. The trouble is, because we're on a corner, on a bend, oop, I nearly put it in the tree, because we're on a bend, it's, he's alright, fooling me. If I hold it back, the float's just pulling in, which is obviously not what we want. It's a cracking fish though, that is. Certainly to have on the float. Every time the float goes under down there now, I'm going to be thinking it's a bite. It's dragging her down under a lot down there. Which is why I didn't really strike that time when I had that fish. I often find that though, happens more than is a coincidence. The place where the float keeps going under all the time, that's where you get a bite for some reason. Just shows you as well, these fish, they just want to be where they want to be. When it's at least a foot deeper in front of me than it is down there, but for some reason that fish is down there. I would think because of all this food, as I say. There's the red baron again. Right, I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes, I think, just around this corner, fishing this muddy bit of muddy water on the far side where it runs under a tree around there. I think we'll spend the last 10 minutes around there. So I've brought this chub with me because where we caught him was basically in front of us just here. I just wanted to run down that mud down under that tree there. I have no idea whether we're going to do any good or not. I've not fished it before, but that muddy water running under that tree looked really nice. And we've only moved about 10 metres downstream, something like that, so we've been feeding this effectively. Be nice to just pick up a bonus fish at the end, if we can. Well, like a bite, went down like a bite. I think it may be the end of that branch, so it's stuck in the water there. of a dip then. It's quite a long way down. We're in. It's quite a long way down. It's near that other tree. Doesn't feel very big. Oh, we pulled out of him. Yeah, it was a little chublet that was. Yeah, I was going down towards that next tree. Yeah, I'm not too fussed about him coming off. He wasn't very big at all. Could have been roach, I guess. In which case, I'd be a little bit more upset because it would have been a half decent roach. But you never know, there might be some more down there. With that in mind as well, I've got a size 12 hook on because we're trotting, although we are obviously burying the hook in the bait, so it's not really an issue with the fish seeing it. But just hedge my bets a bit, because if there are any nice roach about, I mean, I have caught them on the float before and stretched just above this one. Yeah, there's certainly some fish in there that floats dipping away. Just in that run between the trees. That's interesting. That might be a place to come and have a go. Perhaps on the maggots. God, my stomach's rumbling. It's telling me it's dinner time. Or as my daughter keeps correcting me, lunchtime. Daddy, it's lunchtime. Alright, and again. Long old run down here actually. It's nice. We've had 2 bites on this run down. That's gone. Well, I think we've discovered another spot here. As you can see, we've got this one tree and then that other tree further down, and getting lots of bites sort of below this tree down to level with that tree. Well, I think it is smaller fish, but as I say, it might be worth bringing the light trotting gear down and, you know, a couple of pints of maggots. It's a little bit too coloured for that at the moment. But we might get a session here before the end of the season. Who knows? Not if the rain that is due tomorrow comes though, because we've got just about 2 weeks left of the season now. So we are running out of time. That's gone under. No. Right, we'll call it a day there. Well, that has been a thoroughly enjoyable sort of 3 hours down here. We'll get this fella back. As I say, where we hooked him from was just in front of us here, so we're putting him back in his home. That's a cracking fish. Wonderful. That's brilliant. Been nice to get the trotting gear out as well for once, and even nicer that we didn't get too wet, which is fantastic. Now, I'm going to be making the most of the rivers whilst the river season lasts. Hopefully we don't get too much rain tomorrow. There's some due the day after as well. Hopefully don't get too much and these rivers will stay in decent condition. The Avon is starting to get fishable. I really want to get down there before the end of the season. For now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something as well. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling when you get out there. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you again very soon.